Welcome, tennis fans, to another massive edition of our comprehensive tennis deep dive. Today, we have a story that is sending shockwaves through the tennis world, a story of grit, of tactical brilliance, and of a young prodigy who is rapidly transforming from a rising star into an absolute force of nature on the WTA Tour. It is Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. The grass court season is in full, glorious swing. The pristine lawns of Europe are being scuffed up by the world's elite, and the scent of freshly cut grass is in the air. We are firmly on the road to Wimbledon, that most prestigious of Grand Slams, where legends are made and history is written. But before we get to the All England Club, the tour stops in Germany, at a venue dripping with history and echoing with the ghosts of champions past. We are talking, of course, about the magnificent Steffi Graf Stadium in Berlin, host of the WTA 500 Berlin Tennis Open. This stadium, named after one of the greatest players to ever pick up a tennis racket, requires a certain level of excellence from anyone who steps onto its courts. You do not just play at the Steffi Graf Stadium, you perform. You have to bring your absolute best, or the venue, the crowd, and the occasion will swallow you whole. And today, in the round of 32, we witness a performance that will be talked about for a very long time. We witness a clash of generations, a clash of styles, and a clash of momentum. On one side of the net, we had the red-hot veteran, a player who has seen it all, endured the highs and the lowest of lows, and who arrived in Berlin riding an absolute tidal wave of confidence. On the other side, a 21-year-old phenom, carrying the hopes of an entire nation on her shoulders, proving once again that she possesses a competitive maturity far beyond her years. The headline, the breaking news that is reverberating across social media and sports networks around the globe right now, is this. The Philippines' own Alexandra Eala has pulled off a stunning masterclass victory over Croatian star Donna Vekic in straight sets, 7-5, 6-4, over the course of an intense, grueling 1 hour and 50 minutes. Eala dispatched a player who is universally recognized as one of the most dangerous grass court players on the planet. This was not just a win. This was a statement. This was Eala planting her flag firmly in the turf and announcing to the entire locker room that her recent successes are no fluke. To truly understand the magnitude of what Eala accomplished today, we have to contextualize who exactly she was facing. Donna Vekic is not just any opponent. She is an absolute titan on the surface. She is an Olympic silver medalist. She is a former Wimbledon semifinalist. But even more importantly, we have to look at the immediate context of Vekic's arrival in Berlin. Just 3 days ago, Donna Vekic was holding up a trophy in London. She had just captured the WTA 500 title at the prestigious Queen's Club Championships, and she did it in the most dramatic fashion imaginable. Vekic had actually lost in the qualifying rounds of that tournament. Her bags were practically packed. But then Marta Kostyuk withdrew, and Vekic was handed a lifeline as a lucky loser. She took that lifeline and turned it into a championship, defeating top-tier opponents like Emma Raducanu, Karolina Pliskova, and Katie Boulter along the way. She became the first lucky loser to win a WTA title since 2023. She rode that wave of destiny right to the championship, catapulting herself 43 places up the rankings to world number 33. She arrived at the Steffi Graf Stadium absolutely brimming with the kind of unshakable confidence that only a freshly minted champion possesses. She was on a 5-match winning streak on grass. She was quite simply the woman to beat. And then she met Eala. Eala, the 21-year-old wildcard entry, a player currently ranked number 35 in the world, who is charting a course through professional ranks that is nothing short of historic for Philippine tennis. Eala herself is no stranger to recent grass court glory. Just a little over a week ago, on June 7th, Eala captured the Birmingham Open, a WTA 125 event, marking a massive milestone in her career. It was her first professional title on the grass, proving that her game, built on the hard courts of the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, translates beautifully to the fast, low-bouncing lawns. So we had two newly crowned grass court champions colliding in the very first round. The odds makers, the pundits, the experts, almost universally, they leaned toward Vekic. They cited Vekic's massive serve, her devastating flat ground strokes that skid dangerously on the grass, and her sheer wealth of experience. Vekic, who turns 30 later this month, has been playing high-stakes grass court tennis since Eala was playing in the junior ranks. But Eala brought something to the court today that statistics and odds cannot easily measure: an absolute, unbreakable, never-say-die mindset and a psychological edge born from history. Because while Vekic had the momentum of Queen's Club, Eala had the memory of Auckland. Earlier this year, in January 2026, Eala and Vekic faced off in a round of 32 at the ASB Classic in New Zealand. Eala dropped the first set, stared down the barrel of defeat, and then mounted an epic comeback to win in 3 sets. She knew she could beat Vekic. She had looked across the net at the Croatian's power and found a way to defuse it. Today, she didn't just defuse it. She dismantled it in straight sets. This match was a crucible. It was a test of nerve, of serve under pressure, and of absolute tactical discipline. In tennis, especially on grass where breaks of serve are incredibly precious and incredibly rare, the match is almost entirely decided in the margins. It is decided on the break points. And that is exactly where Eala won this tennis match. She didn't just play well. She played with ice in her veins. Whenever Vekic threatened to run away with the match, whenever the Croatian unleashed her formidable power to create an opening, Eala slammed the door shut with a resounding thud. This victory reaffirms Eala's mastery over the veteran. It snaps Vekic's winning streak. It validates Eala's wild card entry into this WTA 500 event. And most importantly, it sets up a mouth-watering, blockbuster second-round clash against one of the most terrifying players on the tour, the former Wimbledon champion and current second seed, Elena Rybakina. We will talk extensively about that upcoming matchup later. But right now, we need to talk about the tactical brilliance, the sheer statistical anomaly, and the breathtaking execution that defined today's match between Eala and Donna Vekic. Settle in, grab a notebook if you have to, because we are about to dive deep into exactly how this match was won and lost on the lawns of Berlin. To dissect a tennis match of this caliber, we have to look past the final scoreline. A 7-5, 6-4 result looks straightforward on paper. It implies a tight contest, a single break of serve deciding each set. But the reality of what transpired over those 1 hour and 50 minutes was a chaotic, high-stakes psychological war, governed by wild momentum swings and defined by an incredible disparity in clutch performance. Let's start by looking at the opening set. When you step onto the court against a player who just won a tournament 3 days prior, the most critical objective is to weather the early storm. You know they're to come out swinging freely, feeling the ball perfectly, and riding the residual adrenaline of their recent triumph. And indeed, Donna Vekic started this match looking exactly like the Queen's Club champion. She broke Eala's serve in the very second game of the match, unleashing deep, penetrating returns that rushed the Filipina, establishing a rapid 2-0 lead. For a moment, it looked like the odds makers were right. It looked like Vekic's power and momentum were going to overwhelm the 21-year-old. But this is where we see the evolution of Eala. A younger, less experienced player might have panicked. They might have tried to over it to compensate for Vekic's pace. Instead, Eala remained completely unfazed. She dug her heels into the baseline, lowered her center of gravity, and began to absorb the pace, redirecting Vekic's power into the corners. Eala clawed her way right back, breaking Vekic and holding serve to level the score at 2 games all. What followed was a sequence of games that perfectly encapsulated the brutal nature of grass court tennis. It was a pendulum of momentum. At 3-2 in Eala's favor, the Filipina suddenly found herself in a massive hole on her own serve, trailing 0-40. 3 consecutive break points for Donna Vekic. On grass, a 0-40 deficit is usually a death sentence for a service game. But here is where the narrative of the match was truly written. Eala stepped up to the line, stared down the veteran, and saved all 3 break points. She held firm, displaying a level of serving accuracy and baseline composure that was utterly breathtaking, ultimately holding serve to go up 4-2. That hold should have broken Vekic's spirit. But the Croatian is a fighter. Vekic responded with the fury of a champion, rattling off 3 consecutive games to flip the script, retaking the lead at 5-4. Vekic was now just 4 points away from securing the first set. The pressure on Eala was immense. She had to serve to stay in the set. Not only did she hold, but she then launched a ferocious counterattack. Eala broke Vekic's six-service game to take a 6-5 lead, giving herself the opportunity to serve out the set. She made no mistake, closing out the first set 7-5 in 1 hour and 3 minutes. That first set alone was a masterclass in resilience. But the second set is where the statistics of this match reveal their staggering truth. Eala rode the wave of stealing that first set by breaking Vekic immediately in the opening game of the second set. She backed it up with a hold, taking a 2-0 lead less than 10 minutes into the frame. Vekic, to her immense credit, did not fade away. She kept the pressure dialed up to the absolute maximum, constantly threatening Eala's serve. The score advanced to 4-3 in Eala's favor, with the Filipina leading 40-30 on her serve, when a bizarre interruption occurred. Officials suspended the match temporarily. Reports indicate a spectator in the stadium required medical attention. These pauses can be devastating to a player's rhythm, especially when they are in the middle of a crucial service game. Yet, upon resumption, Eala calmly held serve. The climax of the match arrived in the final game. Eala was serving for the match at 5-4. Vekic, knowing this was her absolute last chance, threw everything she had at the Filipina. Vekic generated 4 break points in that final game, for separate chances to level the set at 5-5 and drag the match into a dogfight. And 4 times, Eala denied her. Eala saved every single one, eventually converting match point to seal the 6-4 victory. Now, let's turn to the statistics, because the numbers from this match are absolutely jaw-dropping, and they tell a complete story of why Eala is moving on and Vekic is heading home. The most glaring, defining statistic of this entire encounter is the break-point conversion rate. Donna Vekic, an elite returner, managed to create an astounding 14 break-point opportunities against Eala's serve. 14. To put that in perspective, if a player generates 14 break points in a 2-set match, they usually win that match comfortably. But Vekic only managed to convert 2 of them. That means Eala successfully saved 12 out of 14 break points. That is a breakpoint save percentage of nearly 86%. In the highest echelons of professional tennis, that level of clutch serving under extreme pressure is almost unheard of. It requires nerves of absolute steel. Every time Eala had her back against the wall, every time she was staring down the barrel of a service break, she found her best first serve, or she executed a flawless aggressive pattern to bail herself out. Conversely, look at Eala's efficiency. The Filipina only generated 6 break-point opportunities on Vekic's serve all match, but she converted 4 of them. 4 out of 6. That is ruthless efficiency. Eala didn't need a dozen chances to hurt the Croatian. When the door opened even a crack, Eala kicked it off the hinges. That efficiency on return, combined with a miraculous defense on her own serve, is the mathematical formula for this upset. Let us look at the serving numbers themselves. Donna Vekic is renowned for her serve, but today, Eala outaced her. Eala hit 7 aces to Vekic's 6. However, Eala did struggle with her first serve percentage, landing only 52% of her first serves compared to Vekic's highly consistent 69%. Normally, serving at just 52% on grass is a recipe for disaster, but Eala compensated for this lack of volume with incredible effectiveness. When Eala's first serve did land, she won 66% of the points. More importantly, her second serve held up remarkably well under attack. Eala won 58% of her second serve points, a fantastic number against a returner like Vekic, who was only able to win 50% of her own second serve points. Eala protected her vulnerability, while actively punishing Vekic's second deliveries. In total points won, the margin was razor-thin but decisive. Eala won 77 points, while Vekic won 69. Eala won 13 games to Vekic's 9. Even though Vekic landed significantly more first serves in the box, Eala was the one dictating the terms of engagement when the ball was actually in play. She won 30, receiving points to Vekic's 29, showing just how closely matched they were off the ground, but highlighting Eala's slight edge in neutralizing Croatian service advantage. We also have to discuss the physical and emotional toll this match took and the context of fatigue. Donna Vekic was playing her 8th match in the span of just 10 days. The turnaround from winning the title in London on Sunday to playing a high-intensity first-round match in Berlin on Wednesday is brutal. The emotional come down from a title win, combined with the physical fatigue of a deep tournament run, inevitably leaves the legs feeling heavy. Grass court tennis is uniquely demanding. The low bounce forces players to bend their knees constantly, taxing the lower back and quadriceps. Eala, having had slightly more rest since her Birmingham title earlier in the month, looked the fresher of the two players in the decisive moments. When the rallies extended past 5 or 6 shots, Eala's footwork remained sharp, allowing her to get out of the corners, whereas Vekic occasionally found herself reaching for the ball, her footwork just a fraction of a second slow. Eala's tactical execution was flawless. She knew she couldn't out-hit Vekic from a stationary position. Instead, Eala utilized her exceptional movement, using acute angles to pull Vekic wide, opening up the court before striking the winner down the line. She kept the ball remarkably low, utilizing slice effectively to force Vekic to hit up on the ball, denying Croatian the waist-high strike zone she loves to pulverize. In summary, this was not a match where Donna Vekic choked, nor was it a match where the veteran simply ran out of gas. This was a match where a 21-year-old rising star looked across the net at a champion playing the best tennis of her life, absorbed her best punches, and simply outcompeted her in the moments that mattered most. Saving 12 out of 14 break points is the stuff of legend. It is the hallmark of a player who is not just technically gifted, but psychologically unbreakable. As the dust settles on the Steffi Graf Stadium and the magnitude of this upset sinks in, we must look to what this means for the immediate future and the broader landscape of women's tennis in 2026. For Donna Vekic, this is a bitter pill to swallow, but it is hardly a disaster. Her 5-match winning streak on grass has been snapped, yes, but she is still world number 33. She is still the reigning Queen's Club champion. She leaves Berlin with her head held high, and perhaps a small silver lining, she now has a vital window of rest. Vekic can now take a few much-needed days off to recover physically and mentally, to let her body heal from the grueling 8 matches in 10 days, and begin her focused preparations for Wimbledon. She will arrive at the All-England Club as a massive threat, a dangerous floater in the draw that absolutely no seeded player will want to see next to their name in the first week. FlashScore.com. But the story of the day, the story of the week, belongs entirely to Alexandra Eala. The 21-year-old Filipina sensation continues to rewrite the history books for her nation. By advancing to the round of 16 at a WTA 500 event, Eala is guaranteed to earn at least €15,470, or roughly 1.08 million Philippine pesos. But the prize money is secondary to the ranking points and the immense cachet she is building on the tour. Eala entered this week at a career-high ranking of number 35 in the world. With this victory over a top-tier opponent, she continues her relentless march toward the top 30, and perhaps the top 20. She is proving that her Birmingham WTA 125 title was merely the prologue to a massive summer campaign. 365 scores. However, the reward for pulling off a stunning upset in professional tennis is almost always a harder match in the next round, and the challenge awaiting Alex Eala in the round of 16 is truly formidable. Eala will step onto the court against the tournament's second seed, the 2026 Australian Open champion and a former Wimbledon champion, the powerhouse from Kazakhstan, Elena Rybakina. If Donna Vekic hit the ball hard, Elena Rybakina hits it like a cannon. Rybakina possesses arguably the most lethal, unreturnable serve in the women's game today. Her flat, devastating ground strokes are custom-built for grass court supremacy. For Eala, the tactical blueprint will have to shift entirely. Against Vekic, Eala could engage in baseline rallies and rely on her movement to win the war of attrition. Against Rybakina, rallies will be incredibly short. The match will be decided in the first 3 shots of the rally. Eala's returning skills, which were spectacular against Vekic today, will be tested to their absolute limits. She will have to guess right, block the ball back deep, and try to neutralize Rybakina's first strike. But if today proved anything, it is that you write off Alex Eala at your own peril. She is 2-0 against Donna Vekic this year. She is playing with the joyful freedom of a wild card, combined with the lethal execution of a seasoned veteran. She thrives when the lights are brightest and the pressure is heaviest. Saving 12 break points against Vekic demonstrates a mental fortitude that you simply cannot teach. You either have that clutch gene or you don't. Eala has in spades. For fans of Philippine sports, this is a golden era. You are watching a generational talent come into her own on the biggest stages in the world. Eala's journey from a highly touted junior champion to a legitimate, fearsome contender on the WDA Tour is a testament to her incredible work ethic, her sacrifices, and her unyielding belief in her own abilities. She is carrying the flag with immense pride, and every time she steps onto court, she is inspiring a new generation of players back home. As we look forward to the clash between Eala and Vekic, the tennis world will be watching closely. Will the Filipinas' magical run on the grass continue? Will the raw power of the former Wimbledon champion prove too much to overcome? Whatever happens, one thing is absolutely certain. Eala has arrived. She is no longer just a prospect. She is a problem for the rest of the tour. She is a giant slayer, a breakpoint saving machine, and a player whose ceiling seems to get higher with every single match she plays. Thank you for joining us for this extensive deep dive into an unforgettable day of tennis in Berlin. We have broken down the tactics, analyzed the staggering statistics, and set the stage for what promises to be a thrilling round of 16. The grass court season is delivering drama in spades, and with Wimbledon looming large on the horizon, the stakes are only going to get higher. Make sure you stay tuned as we continue to track every serve, every volley, and every upset on the road to the All England Club. Until next time, keep your eye on the ball, and we will see you back on the court.